name's Charles Enoch, and you already know we're back with another Invest in Myself video. Today we will be talking about velocity banking with negative cash flow. Now, I know you guys know about the pandemic that's going on with the coronavirus, and a lot of people are out of work and trying to figure out their financial situation and what they're going to be doing. And this can definitely be a scary thing to think about, especially if you are like the breadwinner of the house. I would hate to be in a situation like that. So today we're going to be learning about how to prolong your payments in a crisis situation. And it really doesn't have to be the coronavirus situation. It could just be a situation where you've lost your job and you just don't know when you're going to be able to get another job, and you're unable to get, let's say, government assistance, or you just don't even depend on the government at all. Sometimes they do fail us and you don't really get everything that you need. You want to just keep up your same lifestyle. So on this episode, we are going to be using a lot of methods of velocity banking. We'll be taking a couple different methods from prior videos. So I'll outline them at the bottom here, but we'll be going over how to make passive income using your credit card, how to velocity bank using a credit card and having 0% interest applied to it, and we'll be learning how to velocity bank using a line of credit. And we're going to put all these methods into one during this crisis situation where you will borrow money from the bank, your capital, your credit card, your line of credit, because remember, these are our emergency funds. And in a crisis, this is where you would go to. You would go to your line of credit and your credit card as your emergency fund, like we all know. Once we are using our credit cards and our lines of credit, what we are pretty much doing, we are going to delay our payments. So we'll be paying 0 interest on our credit card and on our line of credit. And I know this may sound complicated, but you already know I have the whiteboard on the back. And we are going to break it down so it's as simple as pie. So when you are in that crisis situation, you don't have to worry here. So before we get into the video, please subscribe, like the video, share with others, help a brother build his YouTube channel out. I do want to inspire the whole world to learn this velocity banking concept. And if you are interested in learning velocity banking and you need some one-on-one guidance, definitely check out my website. I do offer that service, and it will be tailored to your financial situation so we can help you pay off your debt. All right, let's get started with these concepts. All right, so we're going to get straight into it. We got jobless Josh, and he's going on hard times. His expenses are $3,000 per month. His income right now, 0, jobless. So his cash flow is a negative $3,000. What Josh has, he has capital. Remember, we preach that we want as much money that we can get from the bank as possible. So as much capital here. He has a credit card of $15,000. He's going to have one of those double cash back cards that's going to give him 2% cash back on all the expenses. Since he's going to be paying all his expenses on his credit card, 2% of $3,000, he's going to earn $60,000 or $60. Excuse me, he's going to earn $60 per month. All right, so on the credit card, his due date is the 1st of the month. That's when he has to pay his whole card off by the 1st of the month to avoid interest. Now, the closing statement is the 5th. What the closing statement is, it's a grace period where they calculate what's left on your card. So, if there's nothing left on the card, if we pay everything on the 1st and we don't use the card until the 6th, after the 5th, then the closing statement will say that we owe 0 for the next month. That's what the closing statement is. Next, Josh has a line of credit for $15,000 as well. The line of credit due date is going to be the 1st of the month as well. Now, Josh has rent, which is included in his expenses. His rent is going to be $1,000. Now we know that most likely we can't pay rent on your credit card. What Josh is going to do, he's going to use Plastique. And if you guys have never heard of Plastique, it is a website where they mail you a check. You just use your credit card, they're going to mail you a check. Now they do charge a 2.5% fee. So 2.5% of $1,000 will be $25. Now remember, we are going to offset this because we get 2% cash back on all of our expenses once we pay with our credit card. So the $60 that we're going to get for paying all of our expenses is going to offset the fee from Plastique of what they're going to be paying us. Now remember, what we're doing in this type of scenario, we're learning how to move our money in a crisis so we can live still in a standard way and we don't really have to struggle. All right, so we're gonna get straight into it. So the basic concept is we are trying to push our statement a month forward so we don't have to pay the cash that particular month. So we're just kind of pushing the month out further and further here. So let me give you this example. So we have January 1st through the 5th. We are not going to pay anything. And the reason why we're not paying anything, remember the closing statement for the month of January is the 5th. So if we pay nothing from January 1st through the 5th, it makes the statement that we have to pay for February $0 because we have not used anything on the credit card. So it's delaying us having to make an actual cash payment by not paying anything and making the statement for February 1st $0. Now, I know a lot of you guys is concerned here. Hey, I gotta pay a mortgage, I gotta pay the rent. Now with mortgages, they usually give you a grace period. You have to pay up until like the 15th or whatnot. So if you have a mortgage, you're just not gonna pay it on the 1st. You're just gonna let it extend out at least to the 6th before you pay your mortgage. Now for the rent, usually the landlord does give you some grace periods here, maybe 4 or 5, 6 days. You can even talk with the landlord and try to push this back, but we are going to try to not pay anything before or after the closing statement balance here, because we want to push that out to another month. So once January 6th hits, we're going to pay all of our expenses onto our credit card. All $3,000 of our expenses, we're going to pay it on our cashback credit card. And we are actually going to get 2% of the $3,000 that we spend. So that would be $60. Now remember, we are using Plastique to pay our rent and our mortgage because you can't pay the rent or the mortgage on a credit card. Now Plastique does charge the 2.5% fee, so that would be $25 extra on top of that $1,000 rent. Now remember, we made $60 in cash flow by just swiping our card. That $60, it will offset the $25 of that fee. So we have pocketed $45 out of the $60 that we made cash flow. We're just going to put that into like our checking account. So we actually came ahead in the month of January by having $45 of cash flow just by swiping our credit card. Now, February 1st to the 5th, it's real repetitive. We are not going to pay anything. To make the statement balance for March $3,000. Now remember, from January 6th to the 31st, we paid all of our expenses. So January 1st through the 5th, our statement balance was $0 because we didn't do anything. So February 1st, we don't have to pay anything. See how we push that out? We're not paying anything out of our own pocket yet. So we avoided a whole month without paying anything. And guess what? The whole month of February, we're not going to pay anything either. So our statement balance for March is $3,000. March 1st is when we will first pay any type of money out of anything here. We've just been using the bank's money. So February 6th through the 28th, what are we doing? We are going to pay all of our expenses on our credit card, our $3,000, earn our $60 of cash flow by just pretty much swiping our card. We got to use $25 of that $60 to pay for the plastique fee, which is going to net us another $45. So we got about $90 in our checking account. Now, come March 1st, we have to use our line of credit, our $15K line of credit, to pay our statement balance. Again, we are just paying the statement balance on our credit card to avoid any interest. So the card would have $6,000 on there because we paid $3 in January, $3 in February, but the statement balance would only be $3,000, and that's what we're paying. So we're pushing another $3,000 further where we don't have to pay it all at once. So once we pay that $3,000 using our line of credit, now our line of credit, our 10% line of credit, is going to start to accrue some interest. Now, if you have not seen my video, how simple interest is calculated with your line of credit, please refer to that to figure out what the simple interest we will pay out of that line of credit. So, March 1st, we paid everything by using our line of credit, our statement balance. March 1st through the 5th, what are we going to do? Nothing. We're going to completely do nothing. And what that's going to do is make the statement for April, because that's how much we have on the credit card, is going to make the statement for April $3,000. So we push $3,000 up to April where we don't have to pay. Now for March 6th through the 31st, what are we doing? It's the same thing as what we did from the 6th to the 28th and 6th to the 31st in the previous months. We're paying all of our expenses onto our credit card. We're earning our 2%, our $60 of cash flow. Got to dish out 25 of it to pay that fee. And we got another $45 of cash flow pocketed in to our account. So we're about like at what, 130, 125-ish in money in our account. Just by swiping our card. We still don't have a job or anything. Now, come April 1st, what are we doing? You already know. We're going to use our line of credit to pay our statement balance to avoid any interest. So the card would have $6,000, but our statement balance for the month of April, we'd only need to pay $3,000 to avoid the interest. So that's what pretty much we're going to do. Now, remember, our line of credit is accruing that daily interest. So since we have $3,000 in debt on our line of credit, that daily interest of 10%, we would have to pay a minimum balance of $25 out of our line of credit. So how do you pay your line of credit off with your line of credit? It's simple. So your line of credit will pretty much be connected to your checking account. You would transfer $25 out of your line of credit. It will go to your checking account. You put the $25 from the checking account, put it back into your line of credit, and then it will pay that minimum balance of $25. Now remember, ideally, since we keep on pocketing $45 every single month from our cash flow, this is paying that line of credit interest. So we really haven't paid any interest. We've made some cash flow and we were able to pay the interest on the line of credit. So for these 4 months, we have used the bank's money by using our velocity banking, and we have not paid a dime in interest. We've only made cash flow by having our 2% cashback card. Now, what are we doing April 1st through April 5th? Nothing. we're going to do completely nothing. We need to close out that statement balance. So the month of May is going to say that we owe $3,000. We're going to have to pay $3,000 in May. So we're prolonging that time where we got to pay that money. So April 6th to the 30th, you already know it's routine. We're going to pay all our expenses onto our credit card. We're going to earn our 2% cash back, pay $25 of that $60 of cash flow because of the fee, because we got to pay our rent or our mortgage, and then we pocket the $45 into our checking account. So we still making cash flow. Even in a crisis, even though we jobless, we still making a little cash flow just by swiping our card. I mean, that's amazing. So now, what are we doing? May 1st, we're going to use our line of credit to what? To pay the credit card statement balance to avoid any interest. So 5 months, we have not paid any interest on this credit card at all. Now, remember, our line of credit is accruing that interest since we used it. So what are we going to do? We're going to use our line of credit to pay the minimum balance of that $25 of interest. So what are we doing? We got all this extra cash flow from our $45 that we get every single month. And we're going to throw that at the interest, the minimum balance for our line of credit, and we're going to pay that off. So again, we have used zero interest for first off the credit card and zero interest for our line of credit. Now, May 1st through the 5th, what do? We do nothing. We sit back and chill. We don't pay anything. And what's that's going to do? It's going to prolong the payment. It's going to make our statement balance for June $3,000. So we don't got to pay nothing until the month of June. We just prolong that. Now for May 6th through the 31st, what are we doing? It's repetitive. We always do it. We pay all our expenses onto our credit card, earn our 2% cash back, the $60. We got to pitch $25 for the plastique fee, so we got $40 that we cashed in. So a miracle happens. Jobless Josh, he's got another good high-paying job, and he's going to be making $5,000 per month. Now we're just going to review and see what we kind of did here. So remember, the reason why we don't pay from January 1st through the 5th, or the 1st through the 5th of any month, is because the closing statement closes on the 5th. That means that it's going to prolong the payment. It's going to make the statement for next month be zero for the first month, and then for the other months, it's going to push it back to $3,000. So we're just pretty much prolonging our payment every single month. Now, since we're earning $45 of cash flow, because we get $60 and we have to pay the $25 for the fee, once we start using our line of credit and it starts building that daily interest, we are using our cash flow to pay the minimum interest on our line of credit. So we are avoiding interest on the credit card and the line of credit. And Jobless Josh has been able to live his same lifestyle of paying his $3,000 a month and still eat good, do all this stuff in a crisis time. He's not worried because he's falling back on all the capital that he's getting from the bank, and he's using the velocity banking method, and he's not even paying any interest. So what it looks like in the month of June, because he's been out for 6 whole months, his debt on his line of credit is going to be $12,000, and his debt on his credit card is going to be the statement. It's going to be $3,000 onto the credit card. Now he's going to start using the velocity banking method to pay down his credit card and his line of credit. Now, if you haven't seen my 2 videos, Only Dummies Save Money and how to pay off your credit card with no interest, these are the steps that he's pretty much going to be taking, so you can refer back to that. But Jobless Josh should be able to pay this debt off in about 6 months, so he should finish the year off breaking even. And again, we are just trying to tell you some simple steps of how to move in a crisis in regards to not having a job. We all know what's going on right now. So I just wanted to teach you guys how to move and use this velocity banking using negative cash flow and still live your same lifestyle. You're not struggling. You're not asking people for money. You know, you're able to get by using velocity banking. So I hope you gained some knowledge out of this video and it has informed you how awesome velocity banking is and how you can do it even in a crisis situation. Please remember to hit that subscribe button, that like button. Go ahead, please help me build my YouTube channel up. I am trying to reach a large audience here, so just a thumbs up, a subscribe, a share would definitely be helpful. And you know, I'll be back with you guys next Friday here. I'm dropping weekly videos. Go ahead and check out the website if you haven't. If you guys are interested in velocity banking and need a little bit of coaching, I do offer that service. It is on my website. I hope you guys be safe out there. If you guys are quarantined, go ahead and just watch all my other videos. I mean, you guys have nothing to do, right? All right, well, you guys take care. I'll see you next video. Peace out.